Fast food was never about superb food, but it was quick, easy, trustworthy, and cheap for busy or poor people. Massive unemployment, economic instability, student loan deferrals, and rising consumer debt should make these cheap offerings ideal for clients who don't have much to spend but want to eat. McDonald's, Domino's, KFC, Taco Bell, and Wendy's were recession-proof, since consumers needed to eat even in hard times. Company dollar-to-calorie exchange rates were usually the best. However, a bizarre marketing approach changed things. These brands have become more expensive, slower, and less trustworthy to satisfy cost-conscious, busy, and desperate customers. The business is one of the major jobs in the country, so it's hardly surprising that sales have plunged when they should have been doing better. The global recession was driven by more than managerial blunders. It indicates much deeper economic issues. It should be inexpensive, fast, and easy. McDonald's has had its largest dip in US sales in over 5 years, but I buy the Chicken Mac sandwich. $3, almost $4, and it's touching what was formerly the cheapest option, but not for many. Let's start with something more significant before discussing the fast food business as the canary in the coal mine of systemic economic issues. Once, fast food was enjoyable. Pizza Hut resembled a hut. Chuck E. Cheese had rodent-themed decor, and McDonald's had bright colors, escaped prisoners, and scary clowns. Things have changed, and most fast food restaurants are now boxy, sleek commercial buildings. Several causes explain this, each indicating the industry's overall trend. Primary reason: business demand for children has declined. Previously, firms advertised directly to youngsters in hopes that they would become mini salespeople and throw tantrums until their parents took them out for fried food. Companies can no longer rely on this market due to child advertising regulations and a societal shift away from unhealthy eating. YouGov found that 42% of Americans aged 18-34 eat fast food several times a week. Due to changing demographics, 20-somethings are less likely to have children. Therefore, custom windows are not worth the extra money and maintenance. Most 20-somethings don't want a ball pit. No guilt, but shifting consumer patterns are one reason why restaurant locations are less important and more interchangeable. McKinsey & Company found that customers are roughly twice as likely to order meals from Uber Eats or DoorDash than to eat at a fast food establishment. Fast food outlets are becoming Postmate driver distribution facilities, so they may appear like Amazon warehouses. For most restaurants, real estate is the biggest expense after ingredients and people, but it's also a huge asset. Ray Kroc, who built McDonald's, recognized he wasn't in the burger business. Realty was his job. Most fast food restaurants still make most of their money from commercial real estate. The restaurant is only a renter, no matter if the tenant is Wendy's or McDonald's. To lower construction costs and avoid having a franchise move into an odd structure no one wants to rent, stores have become more uniform. Real estate speculation, socioeconomic shifts, and intermediary technology, a frequent issue in this channel, make fast food uninteresting. To maintain making money, these firms must sell burgers. Problem: it's becoming harder. Rapidly rising fast food prices outpace inflation. Financial Buzz found that McDonald's menu items cost twice as much as they did 10 years ago. The artificially low prices of fast food contributed to this tendency. In-store orders let them to sell larger quantities and add higher margin extras like desserts and drinks, allowing them to lower their core dishes' prices. Now that key ingredients are more expensive, restaurants must give up a large percentage of their primary sales to delivery businesses to preserve profits. They had to. This change has been justified by raising pricing and using premium branding, without realizing that meal delivery is a luxury with greater expenses. Fast food companies can't directly offer lower prices in their stores than delivery apps, even if they have no additional costs. So they use gimmicks and offer multiple meal deals so restaurant customers can get better discounts if they browse their apps and choose meal combos in-store. If you're a Mick connoisseur and willing to sit down, do the math, and take advantage of the multiple deals on company-run fast food apps and in-store deals, you could pay half as much for the same food as someone who turned their brain off and looked at cheeseburger pictures on their favorite delivery app. This has made fast food buying more difficult and time-consuming, the opposite reason customers use them. Companies aren't innocent victims of this tendency. Bloated, complicated menus and expensive offers may maximize profit from the largest range of customers, from rich and lazy to poor and savvy. This clever business plan may be their doom now that the market has turned against them. To determine if fast food firms have wrecked themselves, we must determine how many work. After first quarter data were announced, some brands' sales increased. Taco Bell, owned by Yum! Brands, raised average store revenues by 9% last year. The company's Lux Boxes, which have become fast food's inexpensive high-calorie equivalent, were the main reason for its success. Despite the industry's collapse, Taco Bell has expanded by attracting customers with no other options. The CEO boasted during the earnings conference call that low-income consumers were key to the company's success. Yum! Brands, which owns KFC and Pizza Hut, leases most of its stores from third parties rather than investing in real estate like McDonald's. They can choose a retail location without worrying about local real estate fundamentals. They can concentrate on high-traffic areas. This allows companies to operate in places that would otherwise be unattractive to real estate investors, with a side company and hamburgers. But fast food as a whole has lost momentum to home cooks. Food has become pricey, which isn't news to those watching. Youth who eat fast food are the first to be laid off and have the fewest reserves to weather salary declines. Average debt outside of a mortgage is the highest for them. You've definitely seen the memes about how Klarna via DoorDash lets you pay for a burrito in 4 easy payments. Klarna is just a payment processor that many people are more comfortable with than a credit card or bank transfer. So this is probably exaggerated, but it's a way to acknowledge the bigger issue. People are going into debt to keep up, and new platforms like this make it easier than ever. Klarna and other businesses account for $700 billion in unrecorded consumer debt, on top of more than $1 trillion in credit card and school debt. So, cash is running out. These companies also lose additional customers. After a hard shift and an hour-plus journey, fast food has always been popular with busy individuals. That has also lost importance. Fast food has slowed down. Average wait times have increased, so unless you're ready to pay for restaurant delivery, cooking something basic is virtually faster. Fast food is slowing for 2 reasons. One issue is that larger menus make it difficult to prepare food beforehand for immediate delivery. This also means food is created to order, which is fantastic. However, fast food turnover is higher than ever, and staff care is poor because people don't appreciate their work. Instead, expecting individuals to specifically seek for minimum wage fast food jobs is ludicrous, but it's growing tougher to find them. Fast food companies struggle again to keep up with delivery applications. Minimum wage workers now have more options, and many prefer delivering meals and responding to an algorithm than cooking and reporting to a bullying shift boss. The apparent remedy is to pay people more, which some companies are forced to do, but then they have to hike prices or decrease profits. These brands are investing substantially in automated kitchens to reduce personnel before they gain too much bargaining power. But the technology is still young, and they have shareholders. If they raise prices further, they will compete with slightly more upscale fast casual restaurants and even independent local restaurants, which have longer wait times and more expensive menus and are harder to distinguish. Apps allow customers to order from these posh eateries for convenience and a few bucks more. A $5 delivery fee and 20% tip won't deter diners from spending more for a chef-prepared meal than a barely assembled McChicken. Everyone else sees the lowest restaurant's troubles as a terrible financial reality. The majority of CEOs who reported negative profitability this quarter acknowledged the economic hardship for restaurant diners and concluded that cooking from home has grown more popular among those seeking the best value. This tendency is great for individuals unless they have large incomes or strict schedules. Cooking for yourself is one of the finest ways to improve your health and budget. You should do it if you can. When fast food becomes a luxury, it should scare society because grocery store food has grown much more expensive and more people than ever have multiple full-time jobs, making it hard to find time to cook. According to US Census data shows that 9% of federal poverty line families lack a working kitchen. Many individuals cook at home instead of ordering Kentucky Fried Carbs, which is excellent, but many miss meals, which is unhealthy. Over 25% of Credit Karma study respondents skipped meals owing to rising shopping expenditures. People who used a credit score monitoring service were surveyed, so the demographic sample may be performing better than normal. Fast food is one of the greatest jobs in the country after Walmart, which might create a vicious cycle in low-income communities. Yo! Brands and McDonald's employ the second and third most Americans. They may not be the best occupations, but millions of people get paid. Restaurant closures could cause widespread unemployment among the poor. Even beyond America, these corporations are struggling. Due to increased living costs and economic instability, most people worldwide are struggling financially. In addition, McDonald's, KFC, and Starbucks are suffering with broad anti-American sentiment in most of their markets, as customers prefer local chains to American ones. McDonald's market survey found that more markets expect to buy fewer American brands. When companies provide negative financial news to shareholders, they invariably make an excuse, but this plainly changes customer behavior at a time when they can least afford it. Unfortunately, a rising number of consumers is hard for fast food to exploit. Watch this video to see how certain Americans are so excellent at buying, and like and subscribe to learn more about money.